Tracilee, we had such a good response to the last time you and I did a video together that I am so happy that you agreed to do a second one. The tips and ideas that you gave people were so valuable. So today we are going to talk about some more ways to feel comfortable in your makeup, particularly as the day wears on and particularly in a corporate environment, right? Yes. So you sent me a picture and I thought maybe this was a really good place to start. And I also want to kind of note before we dive deep into this before and after, which is so cool, that we are going to dive deep into midlife makeup and the upcoming career acceleration program that we're running. And I've asked you to be one of our guest superstar expert speakers for the bonus. So for all you watching, if you're interested, we'll put a link to the program below. It's a 6-week session to help build your confidence and your career. It really is fun, but it's really, really empowering. It's all virtually attended. I lead it live. There's a wonderful support program associated with it to get you from point A to point B in your career. And again, Tracilee is going to be one of our 2 bonus sessions for the 10 people that sign up first. So now that I've teased people with all that, and I've talked too much, Tracilee, can you imagine? Tell me a little bit about this person that you worked with.
Okay. So this is a woman that I know who is changing her careers. So she needed a headshot and she would be interviewing. And a lot of times mid-career, people really want to they don't want to change their look. They just want to check in again with what they look like, especially if a headshot is looming out there. Mm-hmm. So when she came to me, it was simply that. As soon as she said that to me, I have an idea in my mind of a corporate look, of an interview look, of appropriate versus maybe not appropriate. And so if you pull up the after, you can see that.
And I go, dun, 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 ta-da! Yeah. Look at that.
And as you can see, this is a very pretty woman. So she was pretty before and pretty after. But I would say the after really is a polished look and a corporate look in my mind. We did not apply a lot of makeup. We just evened out her skin tone and just really enhanced everything that she had so that in a picture, she looks very nice. But if you were sitting across from her in a desk in an interview situation, her skin still did not look over made up. She just looks fresh, clean, corporate in my mind.
Terrific. I love that. So I'm going to stop sharing that before and after. It's just so cool. I know you have tons of those kind of before and afters, and we'll see some real before and afters in our class time.
Yes.
But one of the things that I love talking to you about is kind of the underpinnings of what makes makeup so scary for a lot of women. And particularly when you're going into a corporate environment, you want to make sure that you look appropriate, as you said. So what are some of the concerns that you hear over and over again from these types of women?
So I kind of joke that a lot of times the first time I meet someone, or even if I meet someone socially, as soon as they find out that I write a beauty blog and do makeup, they just point at their face and they go, oh. And that's all they don't even say anything. And I think what I can feel from them is that they're overwhelmed. They feel that they lack a skill set. Oh, I don't know what to do. I've been doing this since I was 16. I have the same blush that I've had forever. And that is all fine, but I wish that people realize that it's like any skill. It takes practice. And just asking someone like myself or someone at a makeup counter to help, little tips and tricks are going to make that thing that you think is just undoable for you much easier. And one of the things that I let people know is that I think it's a new world. People thought you went to the Estee Lauder counter and you would feel a lot of angst about having to spend, $700 on everything she used. You can call ahead, set up an appointment, and say, I need to revamp my look. I want to learn some things, and take the pressure off right as the meeting begins that you're not going to spend all that money. Places like Sephora and Ulta have such well-trained staff, and I think that they don't put the pressure on. And again, if you're very upfront about it, yes, probably should walk out with one item. But if you're upfront, then I think you'll be more relaxed and learn the skill of makeup versus buying. And something else that is really great is Sephora has an app. And you download it on your phone and you just upload a picture of yourself that you like of yourself, or perhaps a selfie at that moment. And right on that app, you can try 9 lipstick colors. Yep, 9 lipstick colors.
Okay, cool.
Color matching so now you could have picked all those things out that looked great on your Sephora app, and then you're going into Sephora or a different store that carries that product with your list of products, which makes you less vulnerable to the salesperson. You're like, I know what I want now. So this just comes back to, this isn't this, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do it. There are steps that you can take. I think because it's how you look, that it makes people more nervous about making these decisions.
Well, I think it's a combination of, like you said, and I'm going to go back and rewind because you just gave a lot of incredible information. I want to make sure people didn't miss some of these tidbits. But you started by saying it's a skill, and it takes some practice, but tips and tricks in terms of how to apply properly, right? So the last thing we want to do is, be one of those women that I think we all identify that has, too much makeup, or simply is, putting it on in the wrong way in the wrong places. We just don't want to be that. So maybe in some ways we err on the opposite side and not having enough, or being too scared to put it on in the way it should be. So learning that skill from an expert like yourself, or somebody who can really say, this is how you put on the eyeliner, and this is the color, all good.
Right.
I love that you talked about the makeup counter, and let me come back to that for a second, because it is scary. It's scary to go and be like, I need help, and then the person helps you and they want you to buy $800 worth of stuff. So when you said, call them up and say, I want a lesson, any counter, you think anybody would do this as part of their service there? That's amazing.
They do it. And if you ever walk through a Macy's, you can look around and see that a lot of those women don't have anything to do. And I think if you are comfortable and just say, I am here, they love to play with makeup. Everybody that works in a makeup store loves makeup. I have fabulous friends in all of these stores that love what they do. Great. And almost would enjoy spending time with someone if it's just an upfront thing, like, hey, I think I'm going to buy a couple things today, or maybe I'm going to go home and think about it. Can you make me a list? I can review the prices. But I definitely think it is not as scary as it seems, especially at a Sephora and an Ulta, where that's just how they're trained to be. They're there to help.
And that's big, because confidence queen, when you go in and you get help, you don't want to hurt their feelings. At the same time, you're like, it's a lot of money, or I like it, but I won't use it. There's all these things going in your head, and you feel really almost you owe it to them to apply, right? And then, there's a little bit of this, I'm worth it. So there's a lot of, stuff going on, small talk in your head. And it really does make it somewhat scary. So I love the fact that if you kind of set it up with the person, but set it up in your own head, right? Like, this is a lesson. I'm learning what to do. I'm not going to buy new stuff. That's not my goal. My goal is to figure out what I need and how to put it on. I think that takes a lot of the pressure off.
It takes the pressure off. And actually, mostly all of my business is dealing with people after they've bought everything and they come home and say, I actually forgot what all of this is. And we go over it, or they've spent too much, and I teach people a lot of what they can get at CVS versus at Macy's. And I don't think there's anything wrong with ever looking at anybody and saying $48 is a lot for a mascara. I have to think about this, and let me come back to you tomorrow. I'll keep you in mind. Let me take your card, and just build the relationship. And like I said, now in the privacy of your own home, on an iPad, on an iPhone, on your computer, if you download a picture of yourself, there are many apps out there. The Sephora app is one of my favorite, where you can try on the makeup.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You take control of it, not having it control you, right?
Right.
Also, one of the things that I think is intimidating is trying to find the right colors. And I have had this fantasy that someday when I have my own confidence events, I want to have a lipstick lady who basically tells people what color, because I think that is one of the scariest things. And I know I struggle with it. Walking into a place, trying it on, not trying it on. I can't tell you, I'm sure I'm not alone. I have a drawer full of lipsticks that I bought that I thought looked really good. And then I got home, I'm like, that's horrendous. So
I have more than one drawer full.
Oh, okay, good. I feel a little better.
Yeah.
What do we do with the drawer? And second of all, but how do we not add to the drawer?
I think when it comes to lipstick, the best advice comes from your girlfriends. Because if you ask a friend outright, they probably have a handful of lipsticks they would help you to try on, or they have an opinion about your lipstick that they've not shared if you haven't asked. I just think that is one of those things that girlfriends are very helpful in. Like, you know what, I was thinking about trying this color. What do you think? So I would go girlfriends first. The second thing is that you can return, which after all the years of product buying that I have done, I don't think I really fully understood that you can return to Nordstrom's, Bloomingdale's, Ulta, Sephora, CVS, Walgreens. Every one of those stores has a full return policy. I think probably if you go past 30 days, perhaps they have, some rules, but you can go in with an open makeup and say, this was not my right color, and return it. It feels very weird. I still struggle with it, but that changes the game. That gives you more freedom to try things and return them.
Oh my gosh.
Between those two things, and again, if you have tried it on an app and you literally see your lip color slide across your selfie, you really can see how you look in that burnt orange that's really on trend that perhaps you should never ever wear. And you can find that out before you go to the store and spend it.
Yes, that would be a good thing. I'm definitely not the blues that are in right now.
Right.
I can't pull that off myself. But anyway, that is the tip of the century, being able to go back and return colors that don't work. I love that. I'm going to ask you one other area that, at least, again, I'm speaking from my self, but I sense that other women also probably are a little on the edge with it, which is our lovely brows, right? Now, full confession, I love the fact that my glasses cover mine because they're turning gray.
Right.
Not blonde.
Another.
Gray. So I'm starting to look like Pepe Le Pew, and I see all these eyebrow pencils and things, and we talked a little bit about it last time, but like, what's the best confidence building thing we should do, whether we have glasses hiding them or not?
Okay, so eyebrows could actually be an entire day, but I have a little picture here that is very helpful, and I'll kind of hold it up to see if you can somewhat see it. And it is the oldest trick where people say, you start here, your arch is here, you end it here. That is the truth. You can take a pencil, anything that you have, and do that and sort of mark it yourself. You can actually just take and mark those things before you start to do your eyebrows. It really is something that needs to either be done that you look at a pattern or you go and get a full eyebrow consult.
Wow.
The recommendation that I always give is the company Benefit. They are housed in some Macy's and Ulta Beauty. They run a brow bar. They have women who stand there and only do eyebrows, and they shape them perfectly to your face. I know a lot of these women, they go to eyebrow school. I'm not kidding. How funny is that? But if that's who you want to go to, especially if you feel overwhelmed, a lot of times when they do it for the first time, I even say, take a picture of it on your phone and have exactly how they did it. And then you don't always have to spend the money to go get them waxed, or if you run out of time, then you can use your own tweezers and fix them up yourself. And speaking of that, this is the number one thing with eyebrows. You must get the perfect tweezer. And I am going to give you the link so that you can put it at the bottom of this video for people to go look.
There we go. There we go.
Tweezers matter, and so does the mirror. You must invest. I mean, this is the greatest mirror. I'll give you a link for this too. You must invest in like a 5 times, 10 times magnifying mirror. So that is really, if you're alone and you can truly see where the eyebrows are growing back in and you have the right tweezers, then I just think you're less afraid.
Oh, God, you're right. We could probably do a whole thing on brows.
We could talk about it forever.
I'm kind of stuck on the fact that there's like brow school. Like,
There's brow school, exactly.
Oh, maybe we should do a brows and bruise night one night. I don't know. I think that could be kind of fun. It would definitely give people more confidence, liquid and otherwise. But needless to say, as last time, and I'm sure every time we do this, the time goes phew because I'm like taking notes. I'm like, oh my God, this is such juicy stuff. It's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, I want to encourage people to check out the Career Acceleration Program that we're running. It takes you from point A to point B in your career. It really will help stabilize and build your confidence relative to that and many other things in life. So it's just all good training. You get me truly 6 weeks at night virtually. You're going to get Tracilee's consultation because we're doing that special bonus session as part of it. And all good things coming at you. So TL, as I like to call you, my friend, you are awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, those jewels of wisdom, making us all more beautiful inside and out.
Perfect. Thank you, Lisa. It's so fun.
All right, cool. Thanks so much. See you again.